Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
We're tracking breaking news tonight. Fayette County School Superintendent Tom Shelton announces he's resigning.
Kentucky's Lieutenant Governor is stepping down to take a job at the White House.
And a man who escaped a halfway house in Louisville is found in Pulaski County. The reason he says he had to leave. WKYT News at 5 starts now.
We continue to track several breaking news alerts for you right now. First, late this afternoon, Fayette County School Superintendent Tom Shelton announced he is resigning.
That news coming as the district deals with the fallout from a state audit of its finances. WKYT's Jerica Insko is live outside central office with the breaking details. Jerica?
Sam, it was nearly 3:30 this afternoon when we got the word that Superintendent Tom Shelton resigned after taking a new job. Now, according to that press release we got from Fayette County Public Schools, Dr. Shelton will become the next executive director of the Kentucky Association of School Superintendents. In a letter to school board employees, Dr. Shelton says he interviewed for and accepted that position 2 days ago. He says he didn't take his decision to leave lightly, but is excited for a new opportunity to, quote, impact educational improvement on a broader scale. Now, Dr. Shelton has led the school district since 2011, but this year has been dealing with the district's finances. It started in February when Dr. Shelton sent an email to staff and teachers informing them of a $20 million shortfall. On May 27th, a memo was sent to board members alerting them of a possible budget irregularity. Now, the next day, the state auditor, Adam Edlin, launched an investigation into the school district's finances. Now, after a 4-month-long investigation, Edlin determined there was no criminal wrongdoing or missing money, but there was mismanagement of finances. Now, school officials tell us that Dr. Shelton's last day with Fayette County Public Schools will be December 31st of this year. For now, Dr. Shelton does not have a comment. Reporting live in Lexington, Jerica Insko, WKYT.
All right, Jerica, thank you so much. And we're also tracking another breaking news alert for you about gay marriage here in Kentucky. A federal appeals court in Cincinnati has upheld anti-gay marriage laws here and in Tennessee, Michigan, and Ohio.
The ruling is opposite of what other federal appeals courts have decided on this issue. It increases the likelihood the U.S. Supreme Court will take up the case. Well, finally, more breaking news in Lexington this afternoon. Is a very busy day on that front. We're tracking the search now for a shooting suspect.
Yeah, it happened this afternoon on East 6th Street. That shooting put several schools on heightened alert as well. WKYT's Garrett Weimer is live for us at the scene with the breaking details. Garrett?
Police say a man was shot in the hand outside a home here on East 6th Street, right behind me there. Spokesperson Sherelle Roberts says they don't know yet what led to that shooting, but it was some sort of conflict. And as you said, police are still searching for the shooter. Where it happened here is directly across the street from William Wells Brown Elementary School. The school and several others in the area were put on heightened alert, and the kids were not allowed to leave while police searched for the shooting suspect. That search, as we said, still continuing, but kids were able to leave the school later.
Basically meant that the school children were held inside of the building until we could complete our search and make sure that the area was secure enough for them to be able to come out and to go home.
Police tell us they believe they do know who the shooter was, and there's no immediate threat here in the area. Live in Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. Kentucky is getting a new second in command.
And this morning, the governor, Steve Beshear, announcing that Lieutenant Governor Jerry Abramson is resigning to take a job in the Obama administration. Former state auditor Crit Luallen will take his place. WKYT's Victor Puente has more on the Lieutenant Governor's legacy and his new job at the White House.
Two well-known Kentucky politicians will be taking new positions, one in the White House, the other filling the vacancy that move left behind. At a press conference this morning, Governor Steve Beshear announced his Lieutenant Governor, Jerry Abramson, would be leaving his administration and joining President Obama's. The former Louisville mayor said he was approached about 2 months ago about becoming the Director of Intergovernmental Affairs.
I'll be the liaison between the White House and the mayors, the city councils, the county executives, the magistrates, the governors, lieutenant governors, and state legislators throughout the United States.
Abramson said the decision wasn't an easy one, but he talked about the opportunity with his wife, his son, and Bashir.
When the President of the United States asks you to join him in an area of government that you know a great deal about,
Abramson said he had to take the job. Replacing him as Kentucky's lieutenant governor will be former state auditor Luallen.
It is a high honor to stand here today in partnership with this governor.
And it gives us an entree into the executive branch of the federal government that's going to be very valuable to us over the next 2 years.
Abramson says he has an apartment in Washington. His family will continue to live in Kentucky while he serves during Obama's second term. In Frankfort, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Abramson's resignation will be effective November 13th. Luallen will be sworn in immediately after that. Here's some more information about Kentucky's next lieutenant governor. Luallen is 62 and a native of Frankfort. Her career in politics began when she worked for Governor Wendell Ford's campaign for U.S. Senate 40 years ago. She's a longtime fixture in state politics, working for 6 Kentucky governors, and she was elected state auditor in 2003 and 2007. Back in April, she announced she would not run for governor in 2015 and would likely not hold public office again.
The search for a man wanted out of Louisville ended in Pulaski County when deputies found Terry Pierce. They say he was making meth inside a mobile home. He's been on the run since escaping from a halfway house. WKYT's Jordan Villines talked to Pierce from jail. He tells us he escaped because he wasn't getting the help he needs. The story is new at 5.
The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office got a tip that a wanted man from Louisville was hiding out in this trailer. When deputies pulled up to arrest him, they say he tried to run away. After officers cuffed him, they say they smelled an odor inside and discovered a small-scale meth lab.
They found 2 one-step methods and like lithium battery packs and several chemicals that was used.
The man arrested is Terry Pierce. He walked away from a halfway house in Louisville while serving a 30-year sentence for making meth. Pierce says he was trying to change his ways, but that drug use was running rampant in the facility and he felt he couldn't stay there any longer. So he went home to Pulaski County. He talked to us from jail, telling us there needs to be more rehab. He says he can't get out of this vicious cycle.
There's got to be, in my opinion, some place besides prison for nonviolent drug users.
He's not admitting to the meth lab in the trailer, but he says there was some drug use. Now, while he's sitting in jail, he's trying to figure out how he can get the proper help.
People that are drug addicts, they need long-term help. Long-term help the prison can't give you. It's got to be somebody that cares.
In Pulaski County, Jordan Villines, WKYT.
If convicted on the meth charges, Pierce faces 25 years in prison. He could receive extra time for leaving that halfway house. Deputies in Laurel County say they've arrested a fugitive wanted for crimes in several communities. Deputies arrested 34-year-old Randolph Boswell in a parking lot west of London yesterday. The sheriff's office tells us Boswell tricked people out of thousands by convincing them that they were buying lightning protection. Others could be involved.
They represented themselves as installing lightning rods. They stuck some poles in the ground, and whenever they sought payment of $4,000 from the 85-year-old man, he said, "I don't have that kind of money." So he said, "Well, how much money you got?" And he said, "Well, I've got $1,000." So he took $1,000 from, in that instance.
Police say Boswell is wanted on numerous charges out of Pulaski, McCreary, Rowan, Carter, and Harlan counties. Today's rain will be sticking around as we head into our evening.
WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's here with a forecast that might include some snowflakes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get 1 or 2 fluttering about the air late tonight, especially across the higher elevations of eastern and southeastern Kentucky. But it's a gray and a chilly evening that is underway. The occasional shower out there. Live look across Hamburg Pavilion. Traffic moving along there on the interstate that you see, and behind it, that is Hamburg. A lot of clouds, had the on and off rains, and now the temperatures that are taking that Forecast temperature tumble into the afternoon toward the low and mid 40s. That's how we're starting out the evening. It feels a lot colder than that, courtesy of the gusty winds. Now, Live First Alert Defender, not as many showers on Defender as what we were showing you a few hours ago, but we still have a little sprinkle or an out-and-out light shower across the Lexington metro. A couple of raindrops on the windshield across the Mountain Parkway and farther into southeastern Kentucky. Even a little report or two of some small hail with those showers from early in the day. That's how you know you've got a lot of cold air just upstairs. Here's the area of low pressure to our northeast. Northwesterly winds. Look at the moisture that is actually coming off of Lake Michigan now. That is in the form of rain showers. This air mass is only moderately chilly for this time of year. And that may get just cold enough later tonight to spit out a wet snowflake. Gusty showers slowly tapering off as a weekend of chill descends upon the Bluegrass State. But guys, I'm watching next week when the Arctic Express arrives into the Bluegrass State. We'll talk about its arrival and if it's on schedule here in just a bit.
Thank you, Chris. Republican leaders continue to lay out their vision for the new GOP-controlled Congress. House Speaker John Boehner, along with likely Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, outlined their plans in the Wall Street Journal today. As Craig Boswell shows us, some items on the agenda conflict with President Obama's plan for his final 2 years in office.
House Speaker John Boehner says the GOP-controlled Congress that takes over in January is ready to work with President Obama.
Finding common ground is going to be hard work. But it'll be even harder if the president isn't willing to work with us.
The speaker warned the president against executive action to stop the deportation of undocumented workers.
If the president continues to act on his own, he is going to poison the well. When you play with matches, you take the risk of burning yourself. And he's going to burn himself if he continues to go down this path.
Boehner and likely Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell are on the same page, spelling out goals in a Wall Street Journal op-ed. Approving the Keystone XL pipeline, a 2,000-mile oil pipeline from Canada to the Gulf Coast, is a priority. Repealing Obamacare also tops the list.
The individual mandate, people hate it.
Congressional leaders from both sides head to the White House Friday to start talking about next year's agenda.
Senator McConnell didn't suggest that he's going to fold on his principles. The president's not going to do that either. But it doesn't mean we shouldn't be use that as an excuse not to get something done where we do agree.
While they look for that common ground, they'll need to quickly compromise on other issues, including how to keep the federal government funded beyond next month. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
Senator McConnell says he can work with the president on 2 quick fixes in the new Congress, new trade agreements and a tax overhaul. Fayette Mall opening its new middle wing tomorrow. We're getting a sneak peek inside one of the most anticipated store openings.
A safety group is out with the latest rankings on booster seats. We'll tell you which ones protect your child the best. That's in Better Living.
And a crime alert out of southern Kentucky. Police want to find who's responsible for a string of home break-ins. We're tracking the search for the thief on WKYT News at 5:30.